Hey, today I'm going to show you how to easily define an event handler. This is something that I had trouble with for months when I first started working with events. Then I discovered the pattern, and that, my friends, is what I'm going to show you today. Now, I'll give you a little heads up. We're going to hit a few bumps along the way, but I'll show you how to get over them. I hope you're excited. I'm excited. This one is jam-packed with tips and tricks, so let's write some code. All right, let's do a little review here. Event handlers are easy to define. They are void methods with only two parameters. The first parameter is an object with the name sender. The second parameter is what we have to figure out, and that's what I'm going to show you today. For data providers like orders providers, position providers, quotes providers, etc., there are only two events that can be raised, the state changed event and the updated event. I'm going to use a quote provider today for the example because it's pretty easy to set up. So let's head over to the help and look at a quote provider. Click on Class Libraries, and you're going to get all your data providers right in here. So we're going to find the quote provider, and we're going to come down here and look at it. In order to use the quote provider, we're going to look at the namespace. We need TS data, market data. So I'm going to copy that, and we define that with the using. Now let's look at some of the properties that are here. If you hover over this, it says it's a property. We have data, fields, quotes, symbols. So we're going to need a symbol for it, and we're going to need some quote fields. So if I look at the quote fields, it has ask, bid, etc., all this stuff. Hit backspace and go back to where I was. We're going to use bid, ask, last for this demo, and the symbol. Let's create the quote provider method. All right, so I'm going to run over this real quick. This is a method. It returns a quote provider object. The name of it, the method is called create quotes provider. I'm going to pass it a symbol and the fields that we want to use. So this line creates the new instance of the class quotes provider. We're going to set the symbol here from here, and then the fields are going to be set here for the fields. We're going to run it in real time. We're going to figure out how to create these events, and then we're going to return a quote provider. Let's create a once block to call the provider. So here we're going to clear the print log. We need a variable here. And it's going to be a quotes provider. I can spell today. And then we're going to load it. So we're going to create the provider. We're going to pass it SPY because that's what we want to look at. We've named the variable appropriately here. We're going to look for bid, ask, and last. And then we're going to load the provider. The first event handler we're going to create is the state changed one. We're going to type QP dot. We're going to look through here for anything with a lightning bolt. So I see state changed and updated. Those are the two. So I'm going to grab that one. We'll say plus equal. And then we're going to need a quote provider state changed method. To create the method, first parameter is an object with the name of sender, and the second parameter is what we have to figure out. And it's usually called args. So we're going to type method void this name object sender args. So let's go find this. So we're on the quote provider. We're going to open up events. Now it only shows updated. The reason for that is that all the data providers that I've worked with inherit from a class called data provider. So let's look at data provider. Here is an event for data provider, and here is the state changed event. So if I come over here, this is the name of the class that I'm going to need. So when I click on this, I'm going to double click that, and I'm going to change this. That's how you find that piece right there. Now, one thing I'd like to do when I'm here is I like to look at the namespace. So currently we're only using TS data, market data, but this requires TS data common. So I'm going to swipe this out of here. I like to keep my using statements in alphabetical order, so that's why I put it up top. All right, let's verify this. Okay, we get an error. It says doesn't understand object. So object is in the EL system class. So I have to say using EL system. Now we verify we have 0 warnings. Okay, so let's fill in this state changed event handler. All right, real quick. We have a variable called source. It's of quote provider. What we're going to do is we're going to take this sender here and we're going to cast it as type quotes provider. So this data type is going to be the same data type as that. Now here under args, when we go out here and we look at the state change class, this has a new state and an old state. So here I'm going to get args. We're going to use this variable here with a dot to get this old state. Then we're going to use args again to get the new state, which is here. And then we're going to convert these to a string because they're objects, so we want to print their string value. Here I want to show you for the source, we can also get the state. We're on the state changed event args. We're going to back up one. The state is actually on the data provider class. It's not on the quote provider class. All data providers have a state property. So we're going to convert that state to a string because it's an enumeration. Let's go ahead and run this and see what we get. Here we printed old state and new state and the source state. So the source is the sender. So our old state is unloaded and its new state was changed to loading. Now the source said it was loading. The old state was loading, the new state is loaded, and the source state says loaded. The quotes provider goes through different states. It reaches out to the TradeStation server to get the data and pull it back and populate the quotes provider. The next thing we need to do is we need to create the updated state. So let's go back to our help. We're going to back up to our quote provider class. I'm going to open events again and update it. We're going to use the same technique we did for the state changed event. We're going to call this one qp.get equals qp updated. This is going to be our method name. It's going to be a method void at object sender. Now, can you guess what this is? It's on the screen somewhere. Maybe right here. So I'm going to double click that, paste it here. I'm going to call it args. That's what this video is about, finding this value. Now, while we're here, let's look at the namespace. We need market data. We already have that. Let's come down here. We can get fields, quotes, and reasons for quotes. I'm not going to go into that. So let's go ahead and complete this. All right, so I've added this code here. We're getting the sender as type quote provider, and we're going to assign it to source. The reason I'm doing that is I want to be able to get the symbol. I can't get the symbol on args. The symbol is not here for this quote updated event args. It's not there. But if I go back to the quote provider, it's here. Here's my quote provider class. There's symbol. Now, when this first loads, it's going to give me the reason for the initial update, and then in real time, it's going to print the quote, hopefully. Let's verify that. And there we go. It's printing the SPY ask. I see last in there. I see bid in there. Let's look at our quote over here. 582.65. I saw that there. A lot of 64s. So yeah, it looks like it's working. Now this is what's called a support class. And if we look at the help, we go down here to events, open up quote. If you look up here, it says support classes. So all these classes are support classes, which means they're probably going to wind up here, or the majority of them will, as the second parameter of some kind of events args. So you'll see there's an event args, and then as we scroll through here, you'll see more event args, event args. There's a lot of them in there. So let's define a few more. And let's look at the accounts provider. I hope you code along with me on this section because this is what this video is all about. So we've seen the two, so we're going to define the updated event. So we're going to look at the accounts provider. We're going to come down here and look at the event, and it's updated. Can you figure out what the support class is going to be for this? method void. We're going to call this AP updated. Object sender. What's this? Do you know? It's on the screen. It's somewhere over here, like right there. We're going to click on that. I'm going to double click this. Replace that. Args. And we're done with that. Verify it. Now, this is in TS Data Trading, so I have to add that. All right, we're good. We're not going to break these out. We're just going to define them. All right, let's look at another one. Go to class libraries. Let's come down here. Let's look at symbol attribute provider. Come down here. We're going to look at the events. Got the updated event. Method void SAP updated object sender. All right. Oh, there's no link here. I told you there'd be bumps along the road. So we look at this one. No, we're looking for some kind of event args thing. So, all right. So let's try to go find this because we want to see what args are available. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to copy this in, remove that space. Well, it didn't find it. Okay, so let's see if we can find it under the support classes. If I go class libraries, I can go to support classes here. And let's scroll down to SAP symbol attributes updated events arg. All right, so that's tsdata.market data. We already have that. Let's copy that in here. Give it args. And verify it. Oh, it says unknown type. All right. So let's go to the dictionary and we'll look there. Well, it didn't find that either. So what I do here is I just start chopping off words. Oh, it didn't find that. Okay, so here it found symbol attributes updated event args. So I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to swipe this out of here. I find the dictionary is usually more correct than the online help. Don't get me wrong, the online help is really good. But sometimes you run into this stuff and you just got to be able to figure it out for yourself. So I'm going to just double click this and I'm going to paste it. Oh, did you see that? This arg shifted over. So I'm going to do Control Z and undo it. And then Y. See, there's something wrong. You see what the difference is? This one's defined as events. This one's defined as event. The other way I can do this is I'll come in here and I'll see that, oh, this one is one character longer. And this looks like the offending character. Now I'll get rid of this. Press F3 and it verifies. Now there's another way to do this. You can have it created from the toolbox. So if your toolbox is there, if your toolbox isn't shown, you can go up here, toolbars, and show toolbox. And I go to data, since it's a data provider, and I don't see it. So I right click on here, I choose items, come down here and find symbol attributes provider. So now it shows up in my toolbox. So I'm going to double click it and add it to my chart. I can come over here and look at the properties. So if your properties window isn't shown over here, you can go view, toolbars, properties. All right, now I'm interested in the event. So I'm going to go to the lightning bolt. And I'm interested in the updated event. So I'm just going to double click it and it will auto create it. Now, if I come out here and I look at this, here's the sender. So this is the second part of it. This is the args. It's symbol attributes updated event arg. There's no S in it. So I could just grab that and then paste it there. Now I'll have to get rid of this. And that. And I don't need this anymore because this told me what the event handler args should be. Verify it, and we're still good. Now let's do some that are not data providers. Let's look at orders. Let's look at the orders class. There's order. Is what the orders class. That's a collection. And it has an event on it. And it's order updated event args with no S. So I'm going to click on that. Double click this. Method void order updated object sender paste args begin and verify that. Now let's do one more. Let's look at a global dictionary. Come up here, class libraries, go to collections, global dictionary. Let's look at its events. So there's 4 events: cleared, added, changed, and deleted. But if you notice something out here, they're all item processed event args. So let's look at this. So the reason they all use the same is they have an action which gets the reason it was updated. So let's look at the reasons. So added, changed, cleared, deleted, and unknown. So that seems to match these events. Added, changed, deleted, and cleared. So we're just going to define one of them. I'm going to go here, double click that. You already know where I'm going with this by now. Method void, we'll call it global dictionary item processed. Object sender args. Verify unknown type. Namespace needs to be EL collections. But we already knew that, right? Okay, it verifies. Well, that's all for this one. Wow, we covered a lot of things. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you found this video helpful, drop me a like on it. If you want to be notified when I release new content, be sure and subscribe. It also helps me grow the channel, and I do appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.